Hello, and welcome to Fashionably Hired. Today, we'd like to discuss something very important, something very essential that helps in your acquiring a job, either in Ghana or outside the country. This is very important to the point that this is one single thing that can easily disqualify you if not done properly. And this is your CV or your resume. When your CV or your resume is not properly arranged or properly done well, it can affect your job or your ability to land a credible job around the country. So today we'll be discussing some of the things that we do not do well when it comes to our CV or our resume, which disqualifies us easily. These points will help you to know what to do when you are preparing your CV and what you should include or what not to include. So we'll be discussing 10 points, of which you'll be giving details on all these things. So basically that is just what we'll be discussing today. So the first point is, say a poorly formatted CV can indeed disqualify you from a job interview session for several reasons. So there are many reasons why a poorly formatted CV can disqualify you from a job interview, or even it will lead to a total throwout of your CV because your CV is not properly formatted. If your CV is not properly formatted or your resume is not properly formatted, it means that you lack professionalism. A poorly formatted CV reflects a lack of professionalism and attention to detail, which can create a negative impression on the employer. Mind you that the employer doesn't know you. He doesn't know you from Adam. The only thing that he knows about you is your CV. Regardless of whatever claims you may have in the CV or the resume, if you don't properly format your CV, it shows that you are someone who lacks professionalism. You are somebody who cannot pay attention to detail, and it can affect you in a negative sense when the employer picks your CV. So when you don't properly format your CV or your resume, like you don't underline your headers, you don't bold in the most important parts or points, you don't bullet the most important things that you want to be highlighted in the document, etc. If you don't end up formatting it properly, the employer or the client will see that you are somebody who is not serious. You are someone who is not professional. So if you don't want your CV or your resume to be disqualified, then it means that you need to properly format your CV or your resume. This will go in a long way to help you to land job interviews, or in the long round, your CV or your resume will not be thrown out. So that is just one of the points that you need to take into consideration. In Tinzebano CV and now resume. So once you share your money here, once you share the year, one presenting the year, and one share the year, just say you be a one share that euros. Ubia or person or higher and offer you memu. Now do CV, ebe trena, pimpi, nesanse unim she, efa untino, CV ni pen unim efa unim udin, unim bia ote, unim wushia, unim kuto, ne usivi no. In the senior CV no, over she CV ni sifa. So underline BB one underline, say so boarding BB one boarding, say so bullet BB one bullet. Now I am the basa keke. Now they are manning no. The saka or CV da and a resume na. Now you know who so you'll be on your serious, and now you'll be when you're organized. You are the basa. Into CV one organizing the year. That's the one. Maybe so is on serious. And others are known for you. But to CV not watching it. In making sure so you'll be say, oh, your CV here, now I show CV here, but for what year, but you share ye, and you'll be a take one, cannot command on show CV mouth, Davy. Name more people be out, but to me organize it. No format to CV years, set up your CV a top, and you bet for you now. Who CV now, or be considered no come. Tell me, I saw okay. The second point is, if you don't properly format your CV, it makes it difficult in reading. So if the CV is cluttered, disorganized, or contains inconsistent fonts and formatting, it becomes challenging for the recruiter to read and extract the necessary information quickly. So if your CV, whilst organizing your CV, it is full of clutter, many of the CVs that we receive when we request, we don't charge for processing fee, we don't charge for agency fee, we don't do all these things. And because we don't charge for agency fee or processing fee, many people, when we request them to give us their CV, they just give us any CV. And many of them, 99% of the CVs are not properly formatted, with a lot of clutter, where it's binding together, there's no spacing, and it's just like garbage. If you are to pick the CV, it's just like garbage. It is not possible for anybody to see you to be a serious person, disorganized. The person didn't underline anything, the person didn't bullet anything, the person didn't format anything. The fonts and the color, font style, and the font size, everything is just haywire and unorganized. No formatting, no organization, and no beauty. There's nothing which makes the CV appealing and attractive. So if you are someone who have not formatted your CV, you make it very, very challenging for the recruiter to read and extract the most important information about you quickly, because he doesn't have time. So if you are delaying in the process of what he must go through and be able to extract the most important information about you, he will see you to be somebody who is not serious, and therefore he will just discard your CV. Until the CV come be before you and I perceive before you now CV no de command. You CV no organize CV ni. We share CV no colors no, font colors no, different colors, font sizes no. Most about we be 12, back we be 20. Now one message in na organize yamani ye, organize yamani ye. After so no yamana text na abu boom space be the nim. Yes, basa bia peche man sana so yes you before you mu no hwes CV na that's the only time be hwehwe mu no hu ejuma potin wire pen ne nimdia potin awo insano ejuma potin awo ne humu potin awo ni nti so to me hu ni nti no onya for CV pa obetuma to akire san say wo hu say onye serious nti no CV ne so wan organize the year obi so mu bia be fi say onye serious san say one pe brand na san anye ni ye as obi a also kope ejuma na kope no usu obi a nya bre to mi trans hwehwe nyame mu organize nyame ye na fi CV na ode kokora no fort won e ba ne sa na we di atronte na ne oka ne enim nti ohu be hia say CV no ko beto mo na wa organize ni ye bibiara font size ne font sizes no font style ne font colors ni nyina wa organize ni ye tira bia obiara so ma obo so ye serious. The third option is that when you don't properly format or organize your CV, it makes it difficult for the key points, the key qualifications are lost. It makes it difficult for your qualifications to be highlighted. So a poorly formatted CV may fail to effectively showcase your skills, qualification, and experience, making it harder for the employer to identify your suitability for the job. So if you are looking for a job and you don't highlight important parts, you don't bold in important parts, you don't emphasize important parts, your skills, your qualifications, you don't format them properly, it will make it difficult. It will make it very, very difficult for the recruiter or the employer or the client to be able to know that these are your qualifications, these are your experiences, these are your skills. It makes it very difficult. It is important for you to format your CV properly. Without that, it will be difficult for the person coming to recruit you or hire you to know precisely your qualifications and skills. It is all the CV come be na CV no command no. Ya for you na say the CV ni command na CV no. Untumi organize CV ni ye. Untumi nkyere say o skills ni nimdia woni o qualifications ni o experience ni untumi organize document ni man nkyere say skills ni no qualifications ni e be thing say ba kono o person o high one o bogun say o skills ni or qualifications ni e be dem pa e tan so mo ni brenti no be dem pa onya for CV no so hwe na say o tumi hu be bia o fi o tumi hu skills no qualification o be to akene nti na any idea wo honom nti no che no so say wo fill form and now fill wo CV and now prepare wo CV we be highlight important points wo mu qualifications, skills, experience so that be be fast CV na go so you serious after so no say wo fill form and now fill CV so so make sure say nyama wo organize no be organizing the year or be so e be minister be employer no fa enye ne den kura so be ko no hu nia nimdie potia wo sere bia obetumi afa odwumi mu. The fourth point is that if you do not format your CV properly, it makes it appalling. With visual presentation, when you are presenting your documentation, you are presenting yourself in a presentation format, it makes it difficult and very, very cluttered and very unpleasant to watch your presentation when you are called over to present your CV. So the first impression matters, and a CV with awkward spacing, improper alignment, or unattractive layout can deter employers from further considering your application. You know, say, oh, your CV, not CV now, but CV no layout in the time. They say, "Unchenan to boy share layout in I feel so no align in properly. Who spaces in a poor. They say one well spacing yamani one align in yamani no one will be for CV and our employer for CV. Or you'll be out, yes, or Shakran and any time. Told me and Kumukran could be with us, who say, why can I know serious? Yamani now any peche in Pasagake. A Chelesa crown is serious. In the so you will be always CV as all now making sure it's a CV now failing and I see even our channel. What you said here with proper spacing, proper spelling, etc. And on the side or far, but say, oh, you're serious. Seems to be a fine. What is even more improper spacing, awkward spacing, improper alignment. Almost all the CVs, that is the situation. Internal, so you'll be a CFO, you more, and no be. Take you serious and they so making sure say but they say your fraud say brand present CV na be kanyama onim through CV mu a CV ni be presentable and appealing to the person who is coming to pick you. Then only ade ba ko won me social nso after so no 0.5 and they say conveying a lack of effort. So a poorly formatted CV must suggest that the candidate didn't invest enough time or effort in preparing the application, which can lead to doubts about their commitment and dedication. So if you are someone, you are claiming that, oh, I am an organized person. They are looking for a candidate, and the candidate, they said the candidate should be very, very organized. The candidate should be detail-oriented. They have said all these things in the application, but in your case, you have poorly formatted the CV. That you didn't take time to properly format the CV, and you presented a CV with a lot of errors and mistakes. So if you have presented a poorly formatted CV, it will suggest that you are somebody who is lacking time. You didn't invest a lot of time and effort in preparing the CV, which can even create doubt. If you are saying that you are somebody who is serious and you are dedicated and you are committed to the work, meanwhile your CV shows that you are not committed, you are not dedicated, and you didn't pay attention to detail, then it means that you have belied yourself, you have belied your personality, and therefore your CV have betrayed you. So you will be able to say, what you will be detail oriented, and now I catch the employer and say you will be detail oriented. What to more? No, he shouldn't be the film biara, and I may be a touching biara. What catch the employer no, but you show CV ne actually say will be a ukra no only time. Only be one transfer and share CV mu anye CV no hojuma. Udi pasa gidi keke. Na odi CV no. E pa chele say asama o ka say we be detail oriented. Now you be a we are committed no, need dedicated no bua. I didn't say CV in interest you be dedicated. Into so you be dedicated how is serious so nya brema CV. Na CV no hye ye for organizing ye. Sir. But you be ara keke e de kwa. Bachelor say onye serious. Until so pebre. So what you mean ya? So po bi to manya bre no wa hye ma obi o experience. No be to maya ma. Sir, ejuma no be hwa so no sanka. We fi say bia be a be how, no sooner yes, a one CV no. Who should answer say you be serious? It is even be a far no watching it. That's only serious. Point 6. Missed opportunity to stand out. A well-formatted CV can help you stand out from other applicants, whereas a poorly formatted one might blend in with the rest, diminishing the chances of being noticed. Internal CCR no say, but say, Upejuma, Ubiara also submit CV. Example, the Jubian na ye pese ye recruit driver be na ye pese recruit my company bi. Driver no. Ye application the top one say Ubiara betuma apply no. Ye over 50 applicants. 50 applicants and you pushing nyina the command employer no. The employer say okodi nyina through a. Say what CV no e te say Ubiara de te. CV say na format CV no. Sa na Ubiara to CV tia. Say employer na fa CV na. Who so ne biara ya edim ti ne ba ne sa na CV na no ato akene so say CV no they say obiara de but who you obiara to mo na wa hye CV fe wa organizing it in a unique format wa organizing in a manner say so fa CV na obomu so is serious a e ba ne say to nya bere ma CV no e hu hye dey here so do picture beto CV so e no nya requirement e hu hye dey here so the colors ne very extensive design be able to CV so here but send up to more organized CV in a simple, clear and concise manner no e better so you be serious. So if you do not format or organize your CV, the employer will say that you are someone who is just like the rest. He may not even have time to go through your CV, but a very, very nicely prepared CV which is unique and very attractive, the employer will take their time to go through because you are a serious person. A poor organization of information. So if you do not properly format your CV, it shows that you have a poor organization of information. Employers often look for specific information in the CV, such as work experience, education, and skills. If these sections are disorganized or difficult to locate, it can frustrate the hiring manager and result in rejection. So if you do not properly organize your CV or your resume, you poorly organize it, then the employer will make it will be difficult for employer to be able to know specific things about you, about your education, about your skill, experience, etc. It will be difficult for them to locate these things and properly consider you for the second round of an interview or to hire you. But if you organize it properly, and you properly organize the information, your education, your experience, etc., it will be easier for the employer to locate all these skills and experience about you. It can lead you to be employed. What do we actually mean? Say, when they say, oh, CV now, one organizing the year, educational background, one organizing the year, why the pasa skills, one organizing the year, why the pasa experience also one organizing the year, why the pasa be in them 1 2 3 na fa akọ 4 they say what do me organizing the mention the year air time and yefe e ba ne sa na hire manager no osoma ofa o CV na ohun adekopotin a o kan wasem o skills ni nimdia owo ni nimdia o so wo ni nyina no ntumi hu ni ye sanse o CV ni ntumi nkyere nti we nyina no say hire manager ne fa ofa o CV no ntumi hu say we obi o serious adentia sanse nyama na wa kan o CV ni nyina no ntumi hu be wo so 5 years experience ba ye be check no na adna 4 osu yo bia wo DVLA record say kire say we professional driver ma so ko check here details na wa training nyina nya accurate osu yo bia we school adontin primary ba ko ye ko check here na adontin primary no one spelling ni ye ye say we bi da ko check kura no ye dumi hu ni ye tini nyina no we nsa na hiring manager na and employer no hu document no dumi hu skill in school akọ is one organizing ye into the who be here so by organize one organizing here hiring manager na for CV no beto akene san say we obi onye serious afi so no if you do not organize your CV it shows a lack of clarity. A CV with inconsistent formatting and the headings, unclear headings or confusing sections. Arrangements can make it hard for employers to grasp your background and achievements, leading to confusion or frustration. So a lack of clarity can result if you do not properly format your CV or your resume. So you must properly format your CV or your resume, making sure that it's clear, so that the person who is going through your CV or your resume can be able to go through and understand your background, your achievements, past employers, etc. By arranging it properly, you can attract the interest of employers. Many of the CVs that we receive has a lot of problems. Many of the CVs have a lot of problems, and we all daily work on it. Indeed, we do not charge for all these services, but candidates still feel relaxed. They feel that because they can just share with us when we request for their CV, they don't have any qualms. They feel that it is just easy, etc. We are not a charity organization. However, we try to do our best. But if we are frustrated over the fact that over 20-30 candidates are sharing their CVs and we are not able to format them properly, or we are not able to present them in a manner, or we are not able to go through, you just submit the CV just as it is, and it will affect you. So you must properly format your CV. CV no one formatting here. It's as if you apply for many jobs, opportunity I had to amount. I bet they say benya bere show CV money aye ye. Inti say no dey buy no, saa dey pushia ma employer no. E ba dey saa so I bet think say e be foul. Wo bompa aso pay juma, so juma ne mba. San say wan kasa no wa kire say go CV no enye organize. Afi so dey kire say wonye serious. Inti hwe no so. Yes I bet think so wenye juma. No be foul aba interview. 9. If you don't properly format your CV, it leads to a perception of carelessness. It leads to a perception of carelessness. A poorly formatted CV can give the impression that you are not detail-oriented or do not take the job application process seriously, which can be a red flag for employers. So if you are someone who is claiming that you are somebody who is not careless, you are somebody who is detail-oriented, and you are somebody who takes your job seriously and application process seriously. Meanwhile, your CV is not properly formatted, full of errors and mistakes. It shows that you are not serious. It leads to the employer seeing that there's a lot of red flag about you and your claims, and they can easily reject your CV or your application. So if you are claiming that you are somebody who is detail-oriented, somebody who takes time, and you appreciate the process of hiring and recruitment, and you are a serious job seeker, you must make sure that your application is clear and concise and without error and mistake. If you do that, the employer will see that you are serious. But if there's a lot of mistake, error, inconsistency, lack of formatting, etc., you are not somebody who is pretending to be someone who is serious, and the employer will say that you are not serious because it raises red flag. If you do not properly format your CV or your resume, it makes it difficult in assessing your qualification. So recruiters often skim through, or they go through multiple CVs to shortlist candidates for interviews. So a poorly formatted CV may make it challenging for them to quickly evaluate your qualifications, resulting in your application being overlooked. So if you do not properly format your CV, it makes it very difficult for recruiters to be able to have time to be attracted to your CV, so that they can be able to go through your qualifications and evaluate your competence related to the job. Until they say one organization CV here, send an AIC cano, one organization CV here. Recruiters say no for CV no, but say akwa onye serious. Quickly no on better than CV no better watching it. Why didn't you say omu nyabre? Omu be apply for the same role. The same role I'm applying no. Omu nyabre a omu kuma CV is in the doors. It's the CV is in the doors in intino. Omu tumi nyabre and show the mu bebre sa. It's omu nyafa obi CV a omu shuma less than 5 minutes. No that two baby. Less than 5 minutes that we go okra 2 minutes and 1 minute. Omu ni bre. So CV no. One format CV ni ye a. One for CV now I'm watching it. So as CV no, nya attractive and encouraging the song kind. And no come hunya bebre. I for CV no. Anyone kasa who ni la who ni pesu. Inti so you be a. What show CV a. So we make sure so any ye. Or formatting ye. Me fa ko keke. Na me fa ko mo bi so onye ma. why can I use 40 Ghana city and 30 Ghana city DB. Make sure say when you a professional or you visit human in so I'll bet to my yamawa. So yes, even the mawa be attractive. And then only you here is all organize your CV, because many of the CVs you receive are full of mistakes and full of error. If you don't properly organize your CV, you'll be applying for a lot of jobs, but nobody will call you for interview. You'll be discussing other factors which could disqualify you, including your behavior before and after your CV has been sent, but it is for a later date. So it is essential to invest your time and effort in creating a well-structured, visually appealing CV to increase your chances of getting called for an interview. You must be able to organize yourself, organize your CV, and make it appealing and attractive. So one organize your CV say attractive and visually appealing. Make that we be apply for jobs. Be apply for job every so one foul. If you say be a spirit, CV attractive, relevant jobs and a relevant qualification, and a relevant part of your CV, it's not being highlighted into be other far and now employer and far who so just serious. Into your home say about my boy on the way to my show CBA, I organize your CBA, set up your CV number foul or interview. When you are out. And so, and yet the San say, CV in the dorsal. The banner say, you will be bad. You be so CV not below the Maya, making sure the CV properly organized. So, you're properly organized. You bet to my mouth. Into your home, my ever say, wow. But making sure the CV is all the bar, a very properly organized. And your organizer, you bet to magic big a crave for home. You have 40 Ghana city, 30 Ghana city, depending on the gravity. Yeah, set up your CV, you bet to submit it. Ghana. Juma pay ding. In say Juma biba, that's the qualifier. Make sure so be biara ye, you see ni biara ye instead of be a Juma ye for. So be Juma no. Yes sir. Boy Juma so Juma no sanka. Yes say bia be the how. Ni mo receive no na organizing ye. You per say boa, say bia so be Juma o hwehwe. In say kan your group no ho ya and dey be kan your group no ho. Wo be social bibi e fa ye ho a go to my friend, the Biara Dan, the Bejoso. It did a fashionably hired. We are fashionably hired, and we are happy that you had time to listen to this podcast. Bye bye.